Alcohol addiction. Also known as alcoholism, it's characterized by a strong craving for alcohol, inability to control drinking, and withdrawal symptoms when not drinking. It often leads to negative consequences in personal, social, and professional life. Alcohol addiction can result in physical health issues such as liver damage, heart problems, and neurological impairment, as well as mental health issues like depression and anxiety. Substance abuse. This involves the misuse of legal or illegal substances, such as cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine, or other drugs. Substance abuse can lead to dependence, health problems, and severe psychological issues. Individuals may resort to substance abuse as a means of coping with stress, trauma, or mental health disorders, exacerbating the cycle of addiction. Nicotine addiction. Typically associated with smoking, nicotine addiction involves a dependency on tobacco products. It's characterized by cravings, withdrawal symptoms, and a compulsion to smoke despite health risks. Nicotine addiction not only increases the risk of lung cancer, heart disease, and respiratory problems, but also impacts overall well-being and quality of life. Prescription drug addiction. This occurs when individuals misuse or become dependent on prescription medications such as opioids, sedatives, or stimulants. It can develop even when medications are used as prescribed. Prescription drug addiction often starts innocently, such as for pain management, but can quickly spiral out of control, leading to addiction, overdose, and other serious consequences. Gambling addiction. Also known as pathological gambling or gambling disorder, it involves uncontrollable urges to gamble despite negative consequences. Individuals may prioritize gambling over other responsibilities, leading to financial ruin and relationship problems. Gambling addiction is often fueled by the thrill of risk-taking and the anticipation of winning, but it can result in devastating financial losses and emotional turmoil. Food addiction. Characterized by an uncontrollable urge to eat, particularly unhealthy or high-calorie foods, despite negative health consequences. It can lead to obesity, eating disorders, and related health issues. Food addiction is often linked to emotional eating, where individuals use food as a coping mechanism for stress, anxiety, or depression, further perpetuating the cycle of addiction. Video game addiction. This addiction involves excessive and compulsive gaming, leading to neglect of other aspects of life such as work, school, and relationships. Individuals may experience withdrawal symptoms when unable to play. Video game addiction can have serious consequences on physical health, mental well-being, and social functioning, as individuals may become isolated and detached from reality. Internet addiction refers to excessive and compulsive internet use, often leading to neglect of real-life responsibilities and relationships. It can manifest through activities such as gaming, social media, or online shopping. Internet addiction can disrupt sleep patterns, impair cognitive function, and contribute to feelings of loneliness and depression, as individuals become increasingly reliant on virtual interactions for validation and fulfillment. Social media addiction, specifically focusing on the compulsive use of social media platforms, often leading to excessive time spent online, comparison with others, and negative impacts on mental health and self-esteem. Social media addiction can foster feelings of inadequacy, anxiety, and social isolation, as individuals become consumed by the pursuit of likes, comments, and followers, at the expense of real-world connections and experiences. Pornography addiction involves compulsive and uncontrollable consumption of pornographic material, leading to negative consequences in personal relationships, sexual dysfunction, and distorted views of sex and intimacy. Pornography addiction can desensitize individuals to real-life sexual experiences, impairing their ability to form healthy relationships and engage in satisfying sexual intimacy. It often leads to feelings of guilt, shame, and secrecy, further perpetuating the addictive cycle. Sex addiction, characterized by an uncontrollable urge to engage in sexual activities, often leading to risky behaviors, relationship problems, and legal issues. It can result in significant distress and impairment in daily functioning. Sex addiction is often driven by a need for validation, excitement, or escape from emotional pain, leading individuals to engage in compulsive sexual behaviors that jeopardize their health, safety, and well-being. Work addiction, also known as workaholism. It involves an obsessive and compulsive need to work excessively, often at the expense of other areas of life such as relationships, health, and leisure activities. Work addiction can lead to burnout, physical exhaustion, and strained interpersonal relationships, as individuals prioritize work over self-care and personal well-being. Exercise addiction, characterized by a compulsive and excessive need to engage in physical exercise, often to the point of neglecting other responsibilities and risking injury. Exercise addiction can result in overtraining, muscle imbalances, and psychological distress as individuals become preoccupied with achieving unrealistic fitness goals and maintaining a certain body image. Shopping addiction, also known as compulsive buying disorder, it involves an uncontrollable urge to shop excessively, often leading to financial problems, debt, and emotional distress. Shopping addiction is driven by a need for instant gratification, emotional fulfillment, or relief from negative emotions, resulting in compulsive spending and hoarding of unnecessary items. Hoarding addiction, characterized by an excessive and compulsive accumulation of possessions, often to the point of cluttering living spaces and impairing daily functioning. Hoarding addiction is driven by an intense fear of discarding items, sentimental attachment, or perceived utility, leading to social isolation, health hazards, and difficulties in maintaining relationships and living environments. Love addiction involves an obsessive and compulsive pursuit of romantic relationships, often characterized by an intense fear of abandonment, low self-esteem, and emotional dependence. Love addiction can lead to unhealthy relationship patterns, codependency, and emotional instability as individuals prioritize romantic partners over their own well-being and personal growth. Relationship addiction, similar to love addiction, it involves a compulsive need for validation and connection through relationships, often at the expense of individual identity and autonomy. Relationship addiction can lead to a pattern of dysfunctional and toxic relationships, as individuals seek external sources of fulfillment and validation to fill an internal void or cope with underlying emotional pain. Plastic surgery addiction involves a compulsive and excessive desire to undergo cosmetic procedures to alter one's appearance, often driven by low self-esteem, body dysmorphia, or a distorted body image. Plastic surgery addiction can lead to excessive spending, physical complications, and dissatisfaction with results as individuals become trapped in a cycle of seeking perfection and validation through surgical enhancements. Tanning addiction, characterized by an obsessive and compulsive need to achieve and maintain a tan, often through excessive exposure to ultraviolet radiation from sunlight or tanning beds. Tanning addiction is driven by a desire for a perceived ideal of beauty, social status, or mood enhancement, despite the associated risks of skin cancer, premature aging, and skin damage. Television addiction involves excessive and compulsive viewing of television programs, often to the detriment of other activities and responsibilities. Television addiction can lead to sedentary lifestyle habits, social isolation, and impaired cognitive development, as individuals become absorbed in passive entertainment and neglect real-world interactions and experiences. Smartphone addiction refers to compulsive and excessive use of smartphones, characterized by a constant need to check notifications, social media, and other apps, often leading to distraction, sleep disturbances, and decreased productivity. Smartphone addiction can impact mental health, social relationships, and overall well-being, as individuals become increasingly reliant on digital devices for communication, entertainment, and validation. Caffeine addiction involves dependency on caffeine-containing substances such as coffee, tea, energy drinks, or soft drinks, characterized by withdrawal symptoms such as headaches, irritability, and fatigue when consumption is reduced or stopped. Caffeine addiction can lead to disrupted sleep patterns, increased heart rate, and dependence on caffeine to maintain alertness and concentration. Sugar addiction, characterized by a compulsive and excessive consumption of sugary foods and beverages, often leading to cravings, mood swings, and energy crashes. Sugar addiction can contribute to obesity, diabetes, and other metabolic disorders, as individuals develop a tolerance to sugar and experience withdrawal symptoms when attempting to reduce intake. Fast food addiction involves a compulsive and frequent consumption of fast food, often characterized by cravings for high-fat, high-calorie, and highly processed meals. Fast food addiction can lead to weight gain, poor nutrition, and increased risk of chronic health conditions, such as obesity, heart disease, and diabetes. It's driven by factors such as convenience, affordability, and the addictive properties of certain ingredients, like sugar, salt, and fat. Cosmetic surgery. Addiction involves a compulsive and excessive desire to undergo cosmetic procedures to alter one's appearance, often driven by low self-esteem, body dysmorphia, or a distorted body image. Cosmetic surgery addiction can lead to excessive spending, physical complications, and dissatisfaction with results, as individuals become trapped in a cycle of seeking perfection and validation through surgical enhancements. Technology. Addiction involves excessive and compulsive use of digital devices and technology, such as smartphones, computers, and tablets, often leading to decreased productivity, social isolation, and impaired cognitive function. Technology addiction can disrupt sleep patterns, hinder real-world interactions, and contribute to feelings of anxiety and depression, as individuals become reliant on digital stimulation for entertainment and validation. Self-harm addiction involves repetitive and compulsive self-injurious behaviors, such as cutting, burning, or hitting oneself, often used as a coping mechanism for emotional distress or to feel a sense of control over overwhelming feelings. Self-harm addiction can lead to physical injuries, scarring, and long-term health complications, as individuals become trapped in a cycle of self-destructive behavior to manage emotional pain and trauma. Inhalant addiction involves the abuse of inhalants, such as household chemicals, solvents, or aerosol sprays, to achieve a euphoric or altered state of consciousness. Inhalant addiction can lead to serious health risks, including neurological damage, respiratory problems, and sudden death. It often affects adolescents and young adults seeking a quick and accessible high, but it can result in addiction and dependence with severe consequences. Addiction can take many forms and can significantly impact individuals' lives, relationships, and overall well-being. Whether it's substance abuse, behavioral addictions, or compulsive behaviors, seeking support and professional help is crucial for recovery. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, reaching out to healthcare professionals, therapists, or support groups can provide the necessary assistance and resources to overcome these challenges and lead a healthier, fulfilling life. Remember, recovery is possible with the right support and determination. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Stay healthy and safe until next time.